In this video, I'm going to show you what post type is working on LinkedIn right now, and it's May 2024. Now, for context, how I come up with this information is literally every week I scroll on LinkedIn looking for new resonant post types. So what that means is I'm looking for posts that I haven't seen before, that look new, but are receiving extraordinary engagement. Like they're getting 1,000 likes, they're getting 2,000 likes, or they're up and coming post types where I can see there's a clear psychological principle that's being turned and people are engaging with that type of content. So every month, I maybe do that scan 4 times. And out of those 4 scans, I will find 2 incredibly good post types. We'll test them on our clients. And generally, out of those 2, we'll find one that is a winner. And I'm about to show you the winner from last month. Okay, so this is the winner from last month. And so now we're now in May. So I suggest you use this in this month. But what it essentially is, it's mainly been used by Greg Eisenberg and Matt Gray. And there are a few other people using it. But ultimately, it's a handwritten image of a lot of text. And it can either be in the notes format or handwritten, or it basically looks like some sort of cheat sheet. Now, the reason why I found this super interesting is because it's actually very easy to create these types of posts. You simply need to just write a bunch of text and you copy and paste the same text that you had in your post back into the image. And what you're effectively doing is getting a lot more media real estate from the same post type. So how to make it work? The common themes that I'm seeing is that you need to have small font size and it needs to be a dense image. Now, there's a reason for this. People on LinkedIn are almost posturing status and want to receive a lot of value. So there's this principle called the perceived value principle, which we came up with. The higher the perceived value of the piece of content you post on LinkedIn, the more likely you are to get engagement. Now, what that means is if your post looks like it's very valuable, even if it's not very valuable, you will get lots of engagement. So stuff like, this, where it's a huge amount of text, I guarantee no one's read it in his audience that probably liked it, or maybe 1 or 2% read it. But it seems like a very informative piece of content that people will like, they will save, they may even repost to posture to everyone that they are really good at what they do, and this is a great piece of content. But ultimately speaking, it's just a bunch of text. It can either be handwritten or Notes app style. So Notes app style is doing really well on Facebook ads right now. I know that for a fact. And so therefore, it's not a huge surprise that we're seeing it trickle into LinkedIn and we're seeing it become a resonant post type here as well. I'd also say that handwritten is basically now catching up on this theme of authenticity. We're now coming into the era of social media where a lot of people are now posting content, and the next barrier to entry to content is to make it look like you actually invested your own time into it. And so doing a handwritten style makes that post have even more perceived value, because if you spent an hour drawing this out, it probably is worth reading. Generally speaking, the topic should be extremely broad to get maximum reach. You're playing on this perceived value principle. So the broader you go with this topic, the crazier your results will be. That generally means it's not going to give you business results, because when you go broad and your reach, you generally lose a lot of leads. So you can test going niche, but you're going to see the best results by going very broad. And then finally, try to add a large headline at the top of the image. What it effectively does is act as a second hook or a visual hook. So Matt Gray ultimately has, this hook, Thomas Paine once said, and then he has, here are 19 principles. Now, traditionally, he would have used that as the main hook in the text, but because he has 2 options for hooks, he'll use the main hook there, and then he's now used this as a social proof line. I don't know who the hell Thomas Paine is. Maybe he's a very famous person. But ultimately, what we're doing here is we are leveraging social proof. Now, example lists that I would recommend if you're trying to create authority now. So let's move away from 34 branding principles, whatever that's not probably very valuable for any sort of leads. But if you want to start getting some more deals and you want to build authority, maybe like questions I ask one-on-ones with my team. 20 learnings from 20 years, that's very broad. 20 CRO tips for your e-commerce store. That's tactical. That's going to bring the right audience in. Now, if you're thinking, okay, how do I do these handwritten post types? They seem like a lot of work. There are hacks. So you either write on paper, but my handwriting is shit, so I had to come up with another option. And basically, I found you can get handwritten fonts on Google. So if you just search hand, say Patrick hand looks a bit nice, Gochi hand looks nice, just another hand looks pretty good, and so forth. You'll notice that I'm pretty sure that this is a handwritten font, even though at first glance it doesn't look like it. And he just put the font on top of like a paper texture, it looks like. So yeah, take the handwritten font and create a nice background. Now I'm going to show you what we did for some clients and how it looks. So for example, how to build in public, we took a handwritten font. It was looking pretty. If I remove these embellishes, it looks a bit too nicely designed. So we just added some like squiggly lines everywhere, and that helps get that authentic feel. This is a post I did on my profile very early on. I was just testing this out. Like it got decent engagement. I don't do much on my own profile, but just a bunch of dense content. We've done it on paper textures, like here, and these did pretty well as well. So generally speaking, hand-drawn style infographics work really well. You can do it with a computer font. You don't have to handwritten, but if you handwrite it, it is a lot better. So let me know if you found this useful. Drop me a reply in email, drop me a reply over YouTube, and let me know how this goes on for you. Cheers. Okay, this section is completely unrelated to winning post types on LinkedIn, but I do want to show you a quick case study we have of us working with a marketing agency. So I just sent this email out to my list, and it's how we booked 27 calls in 7 days for an agency. And this is when you know you're getting LinkedIn right. This is the perfect scenario of LinkedIn performing well for your audience. So this is the agency's calendar. They had 20 calls booked the following week and then 7 calls booked that first week. So absolutely killing it. And that was only from 7 days of posting, which is pretty incredible. So out of those 27 calls, 7 have taken place. And of those 7 calls, 4 are qualified for the client's full price done for you service. That's a full price $6,000 per month package that typically lasts for at least 6 months. So we're looking at a 57% qualification rate on those first 7 calls. And now we're working with them to go like, okay, everyone that's not qualified, how do we still make revenue here? Can we downsell them into a done with you product, a coaching product, a digital product, etc. How else can we help them and also book in some revenue for ourselves? So I want to run some maths quickly with you. What does 27 inbound meetings look like for your business? That's probably around 15 qualified leads. That's probably around 3 closed deals. General note, the close rates on inbound deals through LinkedIn can go up to like 35%, 40%, provided that you've built a long-term brand over LinkedIn. So let's say 6,000 per month over 6 months, that's 36K LTV. Over 3 clients, that's around 100K in revenue from 7 days of posting. On 60% margin, we're looking at 65K profit. And then what about the unqualified leads? 12 unqualified leads. If you close them on a 50% close rate on a 2K LTV, so maybe a digital product here or a coaching product, or you sell them something down the line, it's pretty reasonable to expect at least 12K to come from those deals. And that's 100% margin ideally. So you're looking at 12K profit. So in this case, we're looking at 77K profit from 7 days of posting on LinkedIn. Now, here's the crazy experience I want to say to you. This is not normal by any means. This is when we dialed in the offer exactly for what LinkedIn wanted. We had the right lead magnet go viral. We had the right social proof on that profile to get those results. So if you're looking for similar results of some sort, let me know. Just drop me a line or a message. You can go to our website, you can fill in a form, and we'll tell you what's reasonable to expect for your business and your offer. We've done this over 40 times, so we have good benchmarks. And we can tell you before you even get started into LinkedIn, is this going to produce the results that you're looking for? Yes or no? Awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video.